Okay, lawn fans, you ready? So let's talk about fertilizers, let's talk about pre-emergent, and let's talk about landscaping fabric. So first thing I'm going to show you here is that I've got some fertilizer that I picked up on clearance at a big box store. And when I got it, it was clumped up. It was in the bags. It had been sitting outside. They were trying to get rid of it. So I brought it home. I took the bags, crushed them up some, poured them in this 5-gallon container, stirred it around, broke it up, and then got to where it was good. And then I put in these little packs that I save up. Anytime we get a product that has these in them, and I save them, and I throw these down in the 5-gallon bucket, close the top on it. That keeps it fresh, prevents moisture and things like that from getting inside the bucket. So that's my own concoction there. It's high in nitrogen. It was a winterizer, and it was a summer guard type of fertilizer. It's high in nitrogen, and I know I'll use that when I do my leveling projects and to wake up the fescue out back. Now here's another 5-gallon bucket. I empty all my bags out in buckets so I can save space in my garage by being able to stack these. And this is two different products that I like. It's a 1704 and a 1648. I've got 3 different buckets. That's my fertilizer for the whole season. I mix them in here and stir it up, and then I use it in my applications. Now, when should I be putting out my fertilizer? Well, not right now. I did put out a 10-10-10 today. It's going to help the soil wake up when the temperature gets high enough and the grass starts coming in. Well, how do you know when that is? Got a thermometer. So I start this, stick it about 4 inches down in the ground, and I wait and see what the reading on that is. And I've done this in several places in the yard. It's going to come back and it's going to tell me my soil is about 60 degrees. So when it's 60 degrees, am I at the point that I should put pre-emergent out, or am I past the point? Well, I'm past the point. You want to put your pre-emergent out when you're in the 50s. So I've already done that, and I put out a granular at the first part of this month, put it around the yard, watered it in. Then I'm going to come back and do what they call split application, and I'm going to put a liquid pre-emergent out here probably in the next couple weeks on top of that, and that should help me eliminate a lot of the weeds. Now, I'm pretty much on top of pre-emergence and prevention of weeds, but you are still going to get weeds in your yard no matter what you do. Here's Poania. That's for you, lawn budgets, Travis. That's Poania. That's how we say it in the South. See the seeds on top of it there? You're still going to get that in your yard, or you may not get in your yard. But if you do, don't get all upset. Don't get worried about what am I going to do. Just go out and get you a a post-emergent, and go and spot spray the yard, blanket spray the yard, whatever you want to do. Don't get worried about it. You didn't mess up. Your yard's not ruined for the season, but just stay on top of it, because once it gets those seed heads, they start blowing in the wind. It's going to be all over your yard. You may not see it now, and it'll sit in the soil until this next year, and then it'll pop up and it'll be everywhere. So the next thing I want to talk about, landscaping fabric. Take a look at this. This is landscaping fabric, okay? Now this is really popular with homeowners, and especially first new home builders, is that they will get their plants, they'll put landscaping fabric down, they'll put the plants down in the ground, put the mulch on top of it, and then they think, hey, that's all I got to do. I'll never have weeds again. But that's false. You will have weeds, and here's what I'm going to show you. So landscaping fabric is down under here, and look at this. I pulled these weeds up. They had a shallow root base on it. I was able to pull them right up. How did I get weeds? Well, it's simple. I've been in this house now probably about 6 years. I put mulch down every year. I build a layer up, build a layer up, build a layer up. The wind blows, it blows weed seeds in here. Birds poop, they drop weed seeds down in there. Now, the thing about landscaping fabric is all of that mulch, pine straw, bark, it can't break down and get down into the soil because it's sitting on top of that landscaping fabric. So the seeds will drop down into what's broken down. It'll start to grow and it'll come up. Now, if I'm pretty good about getting after this and I go in there and I pull the weeds out fairly regularly, I don't have to worry about it. But if I don't and I let it build up over time, the roots will go down into the fabric, become part of the fabric, and when I go to rip it out, then I rip the landscaping fabric out, or I destroy the landscaping fabric. So you got a couple options here. Well, the first one is you're pretty good about going in and pulling your weeds. Get on your knees, snatch them out, and you're good to go. You can spray some Roundup in there if you want to, but you got to keep it away from your plants. Or too, don't use landscaping fabric. You can use newspaper, you can use cardboard. That will break down in your soil, and it'll compost with the pine straw, the mulch, the pine bark, and it becomes part of the soil, and it gives you a better amendment to your soil and a better environment for things to grow. Now I'm gonna get a screwdriver here, and I'm gonna show you a demonstration of with landscaping fabric and without landscaping fabric. Now, plain simple flathead screwdriver. Here is with landscaping fabric. That's as far down as that screwdriver can go. That's the bed of mulch that is built up over time. It's broken down, composted, but that's as far down as it can go. Okay, I'm gonna go over here to where there's never been landscaping fabric, and I'm gonna do the same thing. There, went all the way down. Never been landscaping fabric there. So I'm amending my soil every time that I put pine bark, mulch, pine straw down that area. It breaks down with the leaves year after year after year. I'm amending the soil, making the soil better. Here, it doesn't have a chance to penetrate down into the soil because of the landscaping fabric. If I put cardboard or newspaper down there, it breaks down with it, and it all makes up for a better environment for these bushes that are already here and for anything new you plant in the ground. So that's pretty much it, what I was going to talk to you guys about. So we touched on pre-emergent. We get it down when it's in the 50s. If you miss that, go ahead and still get it down. Better to have it and be late than not to have it at all. Spot spray with post-emergent if you got issue with weeds popping up. With your fertilizers, if you get them, they start to get chunky on you in the bags. Bust them out of the bags, put them in a 5-gallon bucket, put some of those little moisture things or freshener packets down in there, close the top on it, and you should be good. And then that's it. Now I put out today a 10-10-10. I put out some stuff for fungus because we're gonna start running into warmer nights and hotter days. And I put that down at the preventative application. And also I put out insect control at the preventative application, because as we start to get warmer, I don't want the bugs coming up and insects coming up through the yard, and the armadillos and things coming out here searching for it and digging up the yard in search of those insects. I kill them while I can and prevent that damage from happening to my yard. So next up will be for me to come through and dethatch and aerate once that I've got a complete green haze across the yard. Then I will then I'll put a heavy nitrogen fertilizer down in the 30s, and then I will level, and then we'll be good to go for the season. It's Bermuda Brian. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them here at the bottom of this. Other than that, Bermuda Brian out.